Well, I didn't think I'd be making this video in 2025. Now, I've played Destiny for pretty much since the start, on and off. I mean, I've missed a few months here and there, but it's a game I've played for over 10 years of my life. Now, that may sound sad to some of you, but I want to share the journey and show you pretty much Destiny 2 in 2025. If you're a new player, if you're a D1 player, if you've sort of played it on and off, I'm going to be talking today, summing up the game as best I can to obviously players if you're looking to return or start the Destiny 2 journey. This video is going to be for you, and I'm going to be showing you pretty much if it is worth playing Destiny 2 in 2025. But if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, drop a like on today's video, and with that said, let's jump straight into it. Now, I'm not going to try and make this video too long, guys, because I could talk all day about this. It's really like a 2-hour video if you want to include everything. So I'm going to go quite quick and just give you a brief description on everything and sort of the price, that sort of thing, so you guys can get an understanding whether you want to jump into Destiny 2 or not. So the big thing is obviously going to be the price, so we're going to start with that. Now, recently there has been a lot of updates, and if you guys didn't know, Destiny 2 is based off of a lot of DLCs. It is free to play, so if you want to give the game a go, you can download it for free. However, activity wise, that sort of thing, you are going to be capped on what you can do, and you are going to be sort of limited at a certain power. So in order to get higher, you are going to have to buy the DLC. But I have found a really good deal for you guys if you are jumping in. Pretty much £30 gets you everything now, which is insane. It is going to annoy a lot of players that have bought the DLCs in the past, but right now on CD Keys you can get the game with every sort of DLC you guys need for £30, which is absolutely insane. So I'll leave a link in the description. I'm not sponsored by them at all. I just use their website for games, and honestly it does really help, especially if you can get all the DLCs, because you'll be able to get higher power and do more activities. So there you go. Now, Destiny 2 sort of has a split down the middle on the player base, which is a really good feature of the game, I believe. Now, if you're a PvP player, that is a player versus player, you guys are going to love this game. If you're a Halo player, you're going to love it. If you're a COD player, you're going to love it. Any sort of game where it's player versus player and you like sort of playing multiplayer on games, it is a really good game to test out, especially if you're into them sort of games, especially as well if you are competitive, because there are a few competitive modes on the player versus player side that are insane, such as Trials of Osiris. Now, this is a game mode that comes around pretty much every weekend where some of the top players battle it out to get the better gear. However, what they have done recently as well in 2025 is made it so if you are in the other section, which is PvE, where you like doing raids, sort of things with other teammates, playing against a computer, bosses, anything like that, then that is the side of the game you guys want to take. But to be honest, with Destiny 2 when it first released, there was a pretty unbalanced sort of system where you were either good at PvP and you hammered everyone and the PvE players couldn't get loot. They've all changed that now, so pretty much anyone can play anything. So it is a really good time to jump into the game. If you guys are missing anything from PvP, it is now obtainable with the brand new update, making it a lot easier for PvE players to jump into the Crucible and get that gear. Not only that, if you guys are PvP players and just solely PvP players, I know a lot of you out there are like that, and to be honest, I play PvP more than PvE now. It has changed over the last few years, but doesn't matter. You guys can jump on PvP and you can still get to the highest level in the game. You guys don't need to sort of spend time doing PvE. It will help getting certain weapons, but now I think the balance of the game is really good and everyone can enjoy their sort of section of the game without feeling like they have to do a certain activity to get somewhere in the game. So I think Bungie's done a really good job of balancing out the PvP/PvE of the game. Now, with that sort of content in the game, I'm going to talk about playtime. Now, I'll put up on screen right now my playtime. Now, this is actually more because I used to play on Xbox as well. So as you can see, I've got over 1,000 hours on Steam. And like I said, I've got way more on Xbox since this game come out. Now, I can't think of a game that I've played ever as much as Destiny in my life. Like, pretty much COD, you play for a few hundred hours at best. And then obviously, that's about it. But Destiny 2, there's something about the game that just makes it replayable. There's so much content, you can never do it. I can't say that there's anyone out there with everything in the game. I don't think there's a player, because everything's so different. You've got different roles on weapons that you have to get. You've got to farm for gear. You're not guaranteed everything in the game, which makes it probably, in my opinion, one of the most replayable games in history. And I think that is why players love it, because we're constantly chasing that better gear, trying to upgrade our characters, and we're looking for those god rolls out there. But let me know if you agree with my opinion on this. The replayability of the game is insane, and the playtime is never ending. Now, what I get asked a lot is it more of a team game? Do you need friends online at all times? And to be honest, back in the day, I would have said yes. But now, with the brand new Fireteam Finder that came out, the sort of groups, looking for groups on Xbox, there's a lot of ways you guys can do the high-end activities with a random Fireteam super easy. You don't really need good communication anymore like you used to have to. But like I said, there are some things you are going to need a team for. But if you are a solo player, do not let that put you off, because a lot of the content you can do solo. You can get to the high levels solo. A lot of it now isn't sort of team-based activities such as raids. You can get the sort of high-end gear a different way. The only things you wouldn't be able to get is obviously the raid weapons, that sort of thing. But to be honest, I wouldn't let that put you off. And if you are a solo player, one thing good about Destiny is there's a lot of helpful players out there. A lot of people like helping people that are new to the game, because we want you to stay. We want you to keep playing the game. Now, the player base at the minute isn't as good as it always has been. We have lost some players over the years. However, we have also gaining a lot of new players recently with the brand new update. And to be honest, after coming back recently this season, I think this season's been amazing. I mean, I haven't played in a couple of seasons, so I am new, obviously, to it and back at it grinding. But I've managed to get my power up pretty quickly, not from doing anything crazy, just playing by myself, Crucible, PvP, doing the odd PV activities by myself. And to be honest, you can definitely get up there by playing solo. So what do you do in Destiny 2? I'm going to explain quickly sort of how the game works, how you're going to be starting off, and sort of where you want to go with the game. So at first, you're going to pick a character between Warlock, Hunter, and Titan. Now, you're not obviously going to have these forever. You can change throughout the game and have different characters, so don't think if you pick one, you're going to have to stick with that one. A lot of people like having a Warlock, a Titan, and a Hunter because they're all great at different things. And it is about finding the best character for you for certain activities. Now, basically, what the game's about is you start off as a really low-powered Guardian, which is what they're called in this game, and you basically do activities to get loot. So there's different rarities of items from all the way from like common, uncommon, rare, legendary, and then exotic, which is like your best gear you can get in Destiny 2, which has some amazing perks on them. Now, you are only allowed one exotic weapon and one exotic armor piece. That is to balance the game out so it's not overpowered. But like I said, and in the gameplay in the background, there's different builds you can use. Each character have different abilities, different fragments. Just basically, you can change the way you play just by changing your build. Now, like I said, this video could go on for hours. I can't explain everything in the video, but the best way to do it is to subscribe to the channel, because I give many tips for most PvE, PvP, and these videos out there. Like I said, it's a never-ending game. This game you could play for the rest of your life, to be honest, and you'd still probably never complete it and get everything. But as you can see in the background, there's just so much stuff to learn, which I think is a really good thing for a game. I like that sort of grind where I've got to look things up. I'm new to it. It's something new, something I've never really played before. And once you get that gear that everyone's got on YouTube that they keep raving about, it is a good feeling when you do obtain it. Finally, I'm going to talk about the weapons in the game. Now, I've just seen here, apparently there's 566 legendary and exotic weapons. Now, that is crazy. The amount of sort of weapons in this game is actually insane. I can't think of a game with as many weapons in it in this. And to be honest, to say how many weapons there are, everything seems to be pretty balanced, even in the PvP side, which is a problem we've had in the past. But after jumping back on, I can say most things are balanced. I mean, pulse rifles are a little bit too much for me at the minute, but I'm sure they'll get nerfed pretty soon, so it balances the game out. Like I say, it's hard for Bungie to balance PvP and PvE because obviously they play so different. And not only that, with the brand new weapons coming out, it's hard to sort of test with the different builds, different sort of artifact mods you can put on now to keep every weapon balanced. But I think they do a really good job, and it is very, very enjoyable at the minute. I'm loving Trials at the minute and just playing Crucible once again. And to be honest, it's bringing me back to Destiny 1. But like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to sort of share my opinion on if Destiny 2 is worth playing. Even if you're a free-to-play player, I think it's still worth trying the game out first. I mean, there's a lot of content that you guys can try out, especially if you are a PvP player. And at the minute, because it is £30, Destiny, for all the DLCs, it is 100% worth it. You can't go wrong for £30 for all the DLCs. The content is never ending, and that is my opinion in 2025. Like I said, if you want a more updated version where I actually spend a good few hours making and obviously talking through and a longer type video and explaining how to go through Destiny 2 as a whole. But like I said, it's never ending. It's going to take a long time to do that. But hopefully you did enjoy this quick video about Destiny 2 in 2025. And if you guys could leave a like, it really does mean a lot. And if you could subscribe with them post notifications turned on, I do really appreciate it. And as always, I will catch you in the next one.